Or maybe you want to transform your thinking from the ordinary to the extraordinary. That's what this channel is all about. We focus on brand strategy and design, new marketing strategies, social media marketing, influencer marketing, paid advertising. And now we talk customer experience with digital technologies, digital trends, and data analytics. It's all about digital transformation.
Hello and welcome to the Digital Perspectives. I am Praveen Gautam. I help entrepreneurs and enterprises to build a digital brand and monetize it. Now, this channel, if you're watching this right now from different social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or that might be through LinkedIn, yes, LinkedIn Live, feel free to give us a thumbs up, comments it, and moreover, this is a little bit about the new insight, the new ways how the brands are transforming right now. So let's get into it. Um, Now, before we go, obviously, a couple of feedbacks I've get in the past episodes. Thank you so much, and you know who you are. Obviously, some of the comments and the responses you've been receiving. Now, one of the common questions I received is, Praveen, we would love to know a little bit about the PR and medias, and especially, many times the leaders or business leaders or entrepreneurs just like you are confused about whether it is a integration, how does the integration happens on your branding, marketing with PR and media. So that's why we just thought probably it is a time now to integrate your PR in your branding and marketing. So that's why we've been very lucky to have Amanda Mills, who is an absolutely PR expert and the founder of Green Light PR. So let me welcome Amanda.
Hi,
Great to
Praveen.
have you today.
Thanks for having me on the show. It's great to be here.
Amanda, you are a true expert with over 20 years of experience in the industry and a track record of creating successful campaigns both locally and nationally. So our viewers are really excited today and to know more about the insight. If that's okay, let's go straight. As a PR expert, people want to know, our viewers want to know more about why PR is important for entrepreneurs or enterprises to build when they are thinking to build the digital brand.
Absolutely. And let's go back a step though, because sometimes when I tell someone that I work as a publicist or I have a PR agency, they will sort of cook their head sort of to the side and go, can you explain a little bit more what that means? So I think it's probably good to go back a step and sort of just figure out exactly what does that mean. And when we talk about public relations, it's really about either an individual, so an individual, and we're talking about an individual brand, and we all should think of ourselves as a brand individually now in this market that we're in now, and or an organization wants to communicate information to the public. So it's that simple. And the way you can do this with public relations usually is often through the media, but there's many different activities that a publicist or a PR agency will do or be engaged to do to help you sort of communicate messaging or information. Often the word persuade can be used, but I like to think a better word is to educate about a topic. So that's how I would sort of say explain PR if you're trying to figure that out in a nutshell what it means.
Very interesting. Actually, I like your perspectives, Amanda, especially you saying, every individual is a brand.
Yes. We should
So,
think of ourselves as brands all the time. So, when we're communicating our brand and how we're doing that to our audience, to our target audience, to our customers, so it's good to sort of be mindful and it's not just your organization that's a brand, but, what are you doing as a personal brand as well?
you bet, especially now, and that's I think that's a power of the tool, isn't it, for the small business or
Yes,
for the growing size business, because obviously you have so much capacity to build on that frame. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Now that's great, great insight. Now, also a lot of the viewers who are watching this right now, we are very excited to collaborate with Amanda. We've been working on some of the exciting projects right now. Can't reveal too much at the moment, but working on some of the projects and really getting together to for the clients to make their life easy, which means providing the full service. And some of the viewers might be curious to know, okay, that's good, but how does really PR complement on the on building the brand and digital marketing strategy? Anything you would like to say on that? Share some ideas, Amanda?
Absolutely. Like for me, probably the biggest benefit of integrating PR is that is the credibility. So to me, I think that's one of the biggest reasons to look at a PR strategy as part of your digital strategy. And what I mean by that is like when you're communicating some messaging through the media, that's not an advertisement. So it's not you advertising yourself, but it's the media talking about you. So that automatically gives you some credibility. It positions you as an expert. It shows that your company is getting noticed. So you can really stand out. So for me, the big one that I would say most companies or personal brands want to get out there for is really that credibility. In fact, I had someone recently say, the stories that they had have really leveraged, they've been able to leverage those to pick up new business because they saw that news.com.au had featured them, or they'd been featured in X publication or industry publications or whatever is really important to your customers.
You bet, you bet. Now, also, Amanda, I'm trying to understand here. It's glad that I love that word credibility, but sometimes it has been obviously doesn't take in the right way because
Yes.
obviously many time business owners, especially, they think me. I just put my story, put my this on just me. And that's where the PR and media comes because it is really endorsing social proofing. Is that correct?
It is, but I think what we need to look at, and a lot of clients will think, oh, well, we've opened this, or we've started this, and that's really newsworthy. That's not automatically newsworthy. We really have to think like a journalist or think like a producer and just, think about what is newsworthy that you're doing. So it's not sort of just we've opened this, we've started this, we're doing this, but it's really matching up what the media is talking about and seeing how you can sort of position yourself as an expert in the media on a topic that's already being discussed. And that's what a publicist or a PR agency is very skillful at doing. They'll tend to have their finger on the pulse when it comes to, what's going or what's trending in the media and how we can match your message and your story to that. So look, one of the other things that I would say that is really fantastic and an easy way to do, a great thing to do with PR is you can educate. So an advertisement doesn't always educate. Sure, social media you can educate as well, that's for sure. And you do that very well, Pravin. But I think telling the story of a case study of a person that may be a customer, whether it's in the health field, this is what they had experienced, and this was the outcome, and this is what we were able to do for them. So that's a really, it's a really powerful way to sort of educate and explain in a sort of layman terms and in an easier way for clients to understand exactly what you do because you're demonstrating it with a case study, for example. So that's just sort of one example, but it's so it's also giving sort of maybe stats on, topical things that are happening in your industry. So those are the sort of things that you can actually do with PR. So educate, credibility. That's fantastic.
Beautiful. And I also am hearing, love what you just said is I think like a journalist. It is so, not every story is, worth it, but obviously the thinking from other perspective, thinking from that is a key. Yeah.
I think so. That's one thing that I've always sort of done with my businesses. I've always try and look at it from a journalist or a producer's point of view. We're there to sort of between the two. You engage us to sort of act between the media in a lot of cases. And look, public relations doesn't just cover liaising with the media. It might be setting up speaking engagements for you. It might be doing a little pop-up event somewhere for your brand. So it does encompass other things, or it might be a community relations strategy. So aligning yourself in something to do with the community, and might be with a charity, for example. But media relations is an area that I'm a real expert in. And what that means is we're sort of representing you to the media and looking at opportunities for you as an organization, as a brand, or as a person, as an individual, as an expert in the media.
You bet, you bet. Now that's great, Amanda. I see a number of the viewers have just joined, and if you're just joined and if you're watching this right now, I'm with Amanda, Amanda Mills, PR expert, and we are looking at fresh new perspectives about PR and media. And obviously, if you like it, feel free to give us a thumbs up, share, or comments it. We love to know how is your experience, or how was your experience with PR and media when you're dealing with, especially the COVID time, isn't it, Amanda? I mean, obviously, it was very, very hard to get the stories. And what was the feedback from some of your clients, Amanda, going back last year?
Oh, yes. Look, I mean, for me last year, I think once again, let's start thinking like the media. There's so much critical information that was sort of going to the media last year. They were grappling with what was going on during COVID. So, look, a lot of stories, look, I said to clients, it's just not relevant right now, and it's the same when there's a natural disaster going on, that there's critical information going to the media. That's going to be their priority. Unless you're an expert in that field, then that might be a good time for you to be speaking. So, how will this, it might be to do with farming, or it might be to do, because I'm thinking about the floods right now in New South Wales. So it could be, a number of different experts. So that might be a good time when you can actually sort of be an expert in that area. But during COVID, I think the media was just getting so much critical information coming through that really a lot of the other stories had to be sort of pushed to the side. Absolutely. I ran a story for a client during COVID who'd pivoted to doing PPE. So she was a manufacturing client, and she'd sort of quickly pivoted her production to now producing PPE. When we first went out with the story, it was sort of just came out just when a lot of the PPE stories had sort of happened, and we kind of almost just missed it. So a lot of times it's about timing as well. But then there was like a massive shortage in PPE in the aged care sector. So we ran the story then, and look, we got fantastic results for the client. We had her on Channel 7, we had her on Channel 9 News, and also sort of other sort of platforms as well. Had her on Ticker TV, and showing her entrepreneurial skills as well, how she'd been able to sort of pivot her business.
You bet. Oh, that's good. Congratulations. It's nice to see the results of the clients, isn't it? Especially when you're working in it, getting that trend, getting that outcomes focused is a key. And that's what I think differentiates between other PR agencies or other PR companies or PR experts and you, because you walk the talk. Yeah.
I do. I'm really results orientated, and I like to start getting some results really quickly. So that's my number one goal when I start working with a client, because I think you don't want to sit around too much waiting for the results to come. We want to sort of look at where we can get a result straight away and matching what's going on in the media. So
you bet.
Yeah,
you bet. That's why so excited to have the value, adding value to our clients and the community overall. That's great. Now also just some of our viewers are curious. Actually, in fact, one of our clientele have asked, what is the stories, where to start? Sometimes we just get confused and don't know what stories to bring in, and so there must be a trend. So what stories are trending in the media right now, Amanda?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, one of the things I'm noticing a lot is sustainability stories. So I think that's a really big issue. It was a big issue before COVID, but let's face it, since COVID, it's really pushed things further. So I'm noticing a lot of different stories on sustainability. that are sort of popping up everywhere, and whether it's a fashion brand, for example, that's using plastic bottles now to manufacture some type of clothes, or vegan clothes. I'm seeing that a lot now. Vegan shoes, vegan clothes. So I think there's a lot happening in that space. Even in your farming, sustainable farming practices. We're looking at more local produce, but how is that being produced as well? So you've had sustainability, and then say, for example, farming practices. You can almost sort of do a few ticks there. You can say sustainability, manufacturing, or sustainability and health. Health is always popular as well. Look, post-COVID, I mean, even during COVID, we started getting really concerned about our health. So there's a lot of health stories are really trending at the moment. I think they're always around, but I think there's, you can tailor them to the market. And just to give you an example, weight loss stories. I mean, a lot of people put on weight throughout COVID. So then it's like you're seeing a lot of, stories around weight loss. And I think, someone's doing something really interesting there. There's certainly media that I've got that are sitting there waiting for those stories right now. Other health issues, just holistic health practices. We're seeing, people are really looking at holistic health so it's not, not just one area of health that they're looking at. Inventions, I think we're going to see a lot of inventions coming out. And look, they are very well received by the media. So if we put those sort of categories together again, and we look at health and inventions, that's a really great sort of area to sort of look at. You might be sitting on a story right there. And just to give you an example, many years ago, I did a story which was on a new vein glue that was being used for varicose veins. And immediately I knew, it's like I call it my spider tingles, like Spider-Man. I can sort of just feel, this is a really good story, glue being used to sort of stop varicose veins. It sounds, just what's going on here. But it was a medical grade glue, and it had been used, medical grade glue, for anyone in health will know. It's been used since the 1950s in all parts of our body. And it was a really great story because it was something really innovative that was happening. So we were able to really get that story out there. The client was actually, booked up for about 3 months from the stories that went out there because it really was quite a popular story. They promoted it quite a lot. So you can just see, if you've got something in the area of health, and then there's an invention, something that's going to really help or change it all, that's very innovative, then, that's a really great place to look at a story. So certainly if you've got an invention but I think we're going to see a lot in that space. I think we're going to see a lot of inventions coming out. I think humans are great at adapting, aren't they? So I think we're going to see a lot in that space.
So what you're saying is, let me recap that we understand properly. Healthcare and innovation can goes well hand in hand. That's what, it's a trend, but all the other sort of things you mentioned is sustainability, which is obviously in manufacturing or other areas. Yes. And also you quickly touched on about health and well-being, being holistic. And that's where so many of our different clientele, including dental and, medical, and obviously in allied health, they are finding out the new ways to serve or better have a patient's experience, so they don't have to go everywhere, but really providing that experience, providing that holistic approach.
Absolutely. Just off the top of my head, when you think about, like, a lot of people were exercising and maybe looking at, a podiatrist for like running shoes, like, what's the best running shoes, or, what should I be looking at when I buy a pair of shoes, so you can see there's a lot of, when there's a trend happening, when something's changing, and if you're an expert in that area, it's a great time to sort of get out there and get your messaging out there and give that advice and your expertise and your tips about that topic.
You bet. Thank you, Amanda. I would love to deep dive on the conversation, but obviously I'm conscious with the time. The time goes so quickly, for sure. Now, those viewers who are watching this right now, what is the next step? If they are they ready for the PR, or when are they ready, or what would they do if they think they have a story, they're sitting in the gold mine, and they think that, look, I need to grow and scale my business. What is the process? What is the next step from here?
Well, look, if you're working with Pravin, you can sort of contact him. We're working together now on some stories, so we welcome that. And they can also contact me directly at amanda@greenlightpr.com.au. So I'm happy to have a chat about what you may see as a really great story that you're sitting on, or a great invention or innovation. So yeah, I'm welcome. I love a great story myself, so I love hearing about what's going on out there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Amanda. Excited for our collaboration, and what you just saying in this episode is obviously it's not about branding, marketing, or media or PR, but it is really integrating that PR in your branding and marketing. That's what you're saying, yeah.
Yes, because when you're seeing advertisements and you're seeing, like, as seen in Women's Day, as seen in Good Health, as seen in, that's the publicist or the PR agency that's helping achieve those listings that you're promoting there, that's giving you that credibility. So you've been seen there. So that's a really simple way to look at it. And you'll start noticing that now when you walk into a chemist, or when you're looking at something on Facebook, you'll see, oh, as seen on Good Health, or whatever publication it may be. You'll start noticing that now.
Beautiful. Thank you so much once again, Amanda, and great to have you. Looking forward to welcome you in future episodes.
Oh, fantastic. Look forward to it. And I'd love to be back on the show. So thanks, Pravin.
Thank you. I hope all the viewers who are watching this right now have enjoyed the insights. So if you like Amanda today, and if you're curious to know more about how you can thinking or how you are aiming to build your brand and maximize your digital channels with PR and media, I would love to hear from you. You can just email me at prabeen@viznetwork.com.au, or you can just call us office at 1300-777-847. All the details are just right here in the screen. Until then, you take care. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.